time it's just our invoice and the client and breaker, so we can get it into. That's not bad.
Yes, ma'am.
Nice to meet you.
Yes, ma'am. Your husband a few times. Great to put a face to the name.
Yes.
signed up for that. I've got my request for reimbursement. So that's the 16th and 17th, I think, or 17th, 18th, I forget which two. Hopefully we'll get some information about an easy cover to put on the dumpster for the class and keep out snow and rain. Because I've been seeing some stuff about that. I just want to get information. I'm not looking to do anything more than collect information and put it back to the board so that we can have some current information of what's going on with personnel and stuff. Vegetation control, that's just what they're doing. I did get the confirmation on the ceiling for the parking lot, and they're going to give both myself and Joe Julio a call to let them know when it's happening, so we make sure all the vehicles are out of the parking lot here, and we'll get that taken care of. We ended up having, I sent a letter to tell Seth that we're terminating his employment with us because of lack of showing up. Most of the trust fund stuff has been taken care of except for this one, which is the closing of the old highway capital reserve fund. And the way the original warrant was written, it didn't take care of the accumulated interest to date. So this, we have to have to come up with a new warrant this year requesting that interest be made available to go to the general fund of $50.50. So that will clean up that paperwork.
Think you spent more than $50 recovering it?
I hope not. Couch properties, okay, everything looks pretty good on this. You haven't seen anything need to add or change? I entertain a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Move to approve as presented.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Okay. That takes care of that. We've taken care of most of the signature things, I think, unless no, we have some intent to cut stuff. I'll pass those over to you to start. And then we've got correspondence. Something from DRA. This is your official notification of the 2021 total equalized valuations. We use your municipality's weighted mean ratio to calculate these values. We calculated two equalized figures for your municipality. The total equalized valuation, including utilities and railroads, is used for your portion of the county tax and your portion of any cooperative school district taxes. The total equalized valuation, not including utilities and railroad, is used to calculate your portion of the state education property tax. We adjusted your modified assessed valuation as reported in your 2021 MS1 for the valuation to fair market value. There's not much difference between the two because we have, we've done some power lines and stuff. The modified local assessed valuation for the town, including railroad and utilities, $117,755,940. And it's just a little bit less for not including the utilities.
What's the EQ though? Sorry, what is the EQ ratio that it represents?
I don't see that listed as a specific thing. They've got equalized assessed value and different things. I didn't see a ratio.
This is,
It may be
there's another letter that will come in that actually gives you the ratio. It should be.
Is that different between SB2 towns and regular T?
Yeah, you'll get a ratio so that you can bring yourself up to 100% if you apply it differently to another town.
Okay.
And I was just interested in where our equalized ratio is compared to other towns.
Well, they've got the equal, that is showing zero, remember the fact is zeros.
Yeah.
So we'll probably see something more.
So you'll see another
I'll
letter.
probably give Jamie a call and try to get her to give me a little bit better understanding of what this is. Because I don't remember seeing one of these last year, but that doesn't mean anything. It's my memory can be faulty.
So Claremont is at 76%, which means we're below market value by 25%. You have to add 25% to our assessed values to bring them up to what is market value. So that's why I was looking for the EQ ratio.
Why wouldn't they just assess them at market value?
Assessing is always a couple of years behind because you catch up to sales. Sales happen so quick and assessing is always just catch up.
It's 25%.
That's what the market's doing.
I think with our setup and having Avatar doing 1/5 of the town each year, we're probably at a much higher ratio of the actual to.
I mean, we just had a rebound last
Yep.
year, and Claremont had their last rebound in 2019.
But that'll be an interesting thing for me to talk over with Jamie and try to understand a bit more fully. I'll get to that in a minute. One of the things that was keeping me busy the past couple of weeks was communication with the town's lawyer, because some individuals from the town had approached the American Civil Liberties Union to start the process for a lawsuit against the town's supervisors of the checklist, because they felt they weren't following the law. And I can't answer for them specifically, but they had replied to me that they were following the law as per what they had been receiving information from the Secretary of State. So when I met with them, they had changed their position and they were going to have a meeting, or they are going to have a meeting on May 4th to approve the voters that have been added to the checklist as pending. And in addition, they will have a period of time from 8 till 9 a.m. on Saturday, May 7th, to register additional voters if they need to be registered prior to the school district meeting. As I understand it, that is not a requirement of the RSA, but it's a little gray area, and it caused some difficulty with some of the members on the supervisors of the checklist. In fact, one of them resigned. But with having these meetings scheduled and adding people to the checklist, communicating that to our lawyer, to the lawyer from the ACLU, we have avoided a lawsuit at this time. So we're going to incur some fees for our lawyer's expense, but we have money budgeted for that anyway. So we just don't always know what it's going to be used for. But that was a number of phone calls, emails. I met with Sue and Bill, and it got a little time. So, in addition to that, Amy Carney called and asked if it would be acceptable to see about borrowing the digital electronic sign from New London to announce our meetings and stuff, and be able to have it either in front of the town hall or down over in front of the fire department. I contacted Kim Hallquist over there, and all they required from us was something on our town letterhead to request the borrowing of the sign, and that's in the process. We're going to have it here so we can announce both the meetings of the supervisors of the checklist on May 4th, the special school district meeting, I'm not sure quite what else we're going to put on the sign, but at least it's going to have the information that makes sure that people are fully aware of what's going on those dates. And I think that's all I've got on that situation at the moment. I certainly hope we don't end up with any other situations requiring any other legal attention. As for reviewing the minutes of last meeting, here is our quote and sign off for sealing the pavement. One of the things that was an email from the lawyers that Jane reminded me of that I had not fully digested was an email that she sent back in February on the 10th. And this is a client advisory regarding RSA 91-A:3, 3- sealed minutes. We are sending all of our municipal clients a reminder about a new requirement for sealed meeting minutes. We understand that you may have already received this information from other sources, but want to ensure you are aware of this new requirement, as it may be a significant change to meeting procedures in some towns. I apologize in advance for not sending this information to the entire select board and the select board's assistants, but do not have current emails with each of them. One of the bills that passed last legislative session, HB 108, included an amendment to RSA 91 requiring all public bodies to create and maintain a list of all non-public sessions for which the minutes were fully or partially sealed. This list is to be made available as soon as practicable for public disclosure, including 1, the name of the public body, 2, date and time of the non-public session, 3, specific reason for non-public session under RSA 91, 4, date of vote to seal minutes, and 5, date of subsequent vote to unseal minutes, if any. We recommend a Word table or Excel spreadsheet template should be created with columns for these 5 items of information, and already existing sealed minutes should be added as soon as practical, if the list does not already exist. Also, a template should be given to each municipal board, commission, committee to have on hand for filling in new sealed minutes as they are created and sealed. And she included the actual language of the RSA, which I will not bother to read. What that boils down for us is we need to create a record of all of our sealed minutes. I'm not sure how far back, I'm going to question that. And put them on all of this list, and then it's probably a good time for us to review them and establish if there's any that can be unsealed, go through that process as well. And I think I'll ask Ashley to assist me on this, because I think the best way we can do it is start looking back through the minutes of our meetings and any of the meetings where we went to a non-public session. We'll address those, put them on the list, and start looking for the information and seeing what we've got and take care of it. Just another one of those things that the legislature likes to follow. Last I knew as well, so we'll just have to look, and without the list, who knows? But that's what that takes care of. When I came in tonight, one of the things that I've been asking for was from Milton Cat was basically the bill of sale for the grader, so that we can see about getting it registered. And that came in tonight, so I'll work with Joe and Christy to see about getting this squared away so we can get it registered.
On those subjects,
Yeah.
I got this from Joe today. We had this filled out from there. You can do your part down here. just so we can get a little bit of info from Joe on this, but we can get our work done.
Okay, so I just work through the rest of this stuff.
That's for that one over there.
Okay,
The old one.
so we get rid of that one?
Yeah.
Great, because we should be able to get at least a little something out of it. 12? That'd be great.
Yeah, so that's it.
So, okay, that I will happily meet with him on tomorrow, these two.
Yeah, because that's that, and then legally fax to the, or email to the bank on a little note. Yeah, that's our bill set from our office.
So what we need to do is sign it tonight then.
Well, one of us needs to sign it tonight and stuff,
Oh, I can say it, there's no just one.
the exact year and stuff is what we need from Joe, so I can't remember signing one of mine.
Yeah, because I know it's over in the.
Yeah, but I think this needs emailed to
Yep.
that lady there at the bank.
Okay, if nothing else, I'll give her a call and double check.
Yeah.
All right. That sounds very good. I do have the copy of the letter from Kathy Peshke resigning the position on the checklist, and I'll file that in her personnel folder. The other piece of correspondence I have is from Christy. This note is to inform you that Brenda Farley has now fallen behind her taxes past the year of deeding, which happens when a resident falls behind 3 years worth of taxes. This means her debt now dates back to 2018. This is the only resident that has done so. Although she has requested in the past to make payments of the taxes, her household has failed to bring payments in consistently, often failing to make the payments for months at a time. She has closed her P.O. box and failed to provide me with an address for correspondence, and so all of her notices are being returned to the office. This is a formal note will inform the select board of her status. A copy will be kept in each of the lien folders where her debts are documented for 2018 through 2021. And I'm not sure what we do here, but it sounds like somehow we have to find out where she is. And
She's into the store, so I'll see if I can see if
okay, that would be good. But I'll keep this in our correspondence file. And I think being our next with the trustees trust funds. Special meeting. Oh, yes, we need to sign this pole attachment application and permission to temporary attach. This is for putting flags on the telephone poles from May to September, and the poles by name are identified, and it looks like, I'm the only one that has.
What kind of flags?
We put up US flags on the poles. The brackets are permanently mounted. They just take them down at the end of September. So it just has to go through the process of requesting permission from Eversource, and then once we get it, then it goes. Yep. So I think we're in pretty good shape there. Who does it? We're the Historical Society? Joe? Okay. I'll ask him about this when I talk to him about the graders. That won't be too bad. Yeah. On the agenda, what I said to Ashley was, we need to establish what we want for minimum bids on the two properties. You forgot something.
I've heard the email too. You want to
Oh, from Scott?
No, my brother. Just see what.
Oh, okay.
On the market.
So, what process do we want to take? We know we can use the property cards to establish what the tax value is, but I was looking at our the town should not suffer any loss from that. And that's a bill coming up now, until we get rid of those properties and let the new property owner take over those. We're liable for it. So, I'm thinking we take the tax value, add the cost of the homeowners association. Is there anything else that we should be looking at? Anything more?
Now, the other thing, the other there is the non-buildable.
Right, and that's, I'm figuring if that's on the,
that's
on the
after
record,
$5,000.
yeah, $5,000, and that's probably all it's really worth. Because at most, you're gonna have it to have access to
The water.
spectacle home.
You can't even put a driveway in there to park something on, you can park a camper there and stuff temporarily, things like that, but you couldn't put a driveway or pad in there, you can solve that.
So, I think we'll be lucky if we get, and it does sound like there's a couple of people that are interested.
Yeah, most of it's the water access.
Yeah, and that'd be nice. So, getting those two off the rolls of our dollar and
On to the
back to taxing it would be a good thing. Okay. So I will work up the postings that we'll send out for accepted bids and figure out what a minimum bid is that we'll list right in the ad, and we go from there. Because I also have one email for the Blue Lake property, that's what people are interested in. And I'm sure they'll, you know, once I let them know the bids are open and where our minimum bid is, they'll send bid in. Which hopefully that would give us the opportunity to transfer the property as soon as possible. Oh yes, need to post a new ad for transfer station attendant assistant. That's probably going to open up the whole routine again. And do we have any idea of anybody that's interested in it? You had one at one point, but we never saw paperwork from him.
He doesn't have an opportunity, he takes care of over there and
Okay, so we pretty much just need to post it and then see what we get for applicants. And Ian, you have information on websites.
Yeah, so I spent some time looking at a demo of the Civic Plus.
Yep.
I guess the first thing, the last thing to tell you, but the first thing that you'd be interested in is the price they're talking about is $300 a month billed yearly.
$300 per month.
For
$3,600 a year.
$600 a year. So for that, it used to be that separate from design. Now it includes actually sitting down, working with them. They design the site, they put the things you need. They have training, they have support. So you ever have a question, you call them up, they answer it, they tell you what you're doing. The sites, like I said, when I looked through all the sites for all the small towns, those are the only ones that looked like they were competently done. We talked about some of the weaknesses of our site that they have already built in. They also do things like, you know, automatic backups and ADA compatibility compliance.
Oh, that's something we had to do to really
Right,
consider.
I know, and so they have considered it, so that's, it just seems like it is the most straightforward thing to do. I didn't see anything that seemed like a weakness, and they do have something like, 800 towns a year.
Well, when I first started looking, I looked through the contact book that has all the towns listed and shows which ones have websites and everything else. And then I went to a bunch of them that are our size.
Yeah, that's what I did.
And at that point, a lot of them were Civic Plus. So I thought that was possible. It was just when Aaron gave us a proposal, but it sounded like we could save some money. Which was, you know, it's a smart thing to try to save money, but it hasn't accomplished what we needed. And we're behind in getting some stuff posted, which puts us in a position where there could be some complaints raised. So we need to do something to take care of that.
Yeah, so, I mean, I would recommend this going with them.
road closures at different times and everything else, because having much more friendly and usable is really.
I mean, that was one of the things that we looked through, was them showing you, like, yeah, you want something that's just going to show up everywhere, here's how you do it, then it shows up, yes, there's a tree down, or this is washed out, or whatever. I mean, you get the impression they've basically seen everything.
Oh, I'm sure if they work in all those small towns, they've seen it all, they know what we're allowed to be able to give them.
Yeah, there's no surprises. They do a lot more than you need, but then eventually if you want to even grow into things like online payments, they're already ready for it. It's like, okay, we set that up. So it just feels like
Do they provide an on-site start, or is everything?
they actually host it themselves. So
So we just give them the information to take what we've got?
I would probably sit down with them and we were looking at our site today and just say, look, this is what we need, this is what
Yeah.
we want to have, these are the things that people want to do quickly, these are the things they have to do, these are the kinds of forms we have up, the kinds that people want to have in the future. They actually design the site and then they put it up, and I think we would probably keep our URL and just point to their site.
Yep.
So they host it, they back it up. If the computer server goes down, they move it to another server, so you have, virtually 100% uptime.
That sounds pretty awesome.
It's very turnkey once they get that initial
Yep.
design.
Well, I think that's probably something we need to take.
And we have the money for it. Do you know, I don't remember how much we set aside.
That goes into the, I'm not sure what's under financial administration or the executive section, but we've built some cushion in both of those unexpected things.
Yeah, my memory of it is it was probably slightly less than 3,600.
Yeah.
So it's worth it.
But the other thing I can probably check on, the grant money we were given last year, this might be something that could be extended on. I'll get a question on that for you. Yes?
The grant money was ARPA funds?
It was from the state, I'm not sure specifically which funds it was from, because it just showed up, there was no information about it, so we basically just let it sit and not do anything. And it's like 44,000, so it's not a big amount, but it would certainly cover this and some other things. We did not have much in the way of expenditures for COVID issues over the period of 2020 and 2021, so we didn't feel we needed to add anything.
I was gonna wait until the end. I remember you asking that the last time, so I was gonna refrain. You mentioned Aaron being in charge of a website. Are we speaking of Aaron McKeon?
Aaron McKeon.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And because he's gotten so busy with the school stuff,
Yep.
it's turned into, he thought once town meeting was over, he was gonna have some more time. That's obviously not the case right now.
Got it.
So, I don't fault him for not being able to help us as much as he had in the past.
Thank you for clarifying.
So, do you want to continue working with them?
I mean, yeah, if we are ready to say let's do it, then we can get that going.
I would entertain a motion that we,
I move that we go ahead and I just start working with them to get it.
In favor? Aye. Great. I think that'll be a good improvement for the town, because there's been some things we'd like to post, but we just haven't been able to.
Yeah, and they are set up, they're specifically, they don't want you to have to know anything technical.
Right, and I know that there's a lot of ways that the newer software makes it much easier to deal with, so that's a good thing. The other thing I put on the list for agenda items was the Hanover dispatch payment. I have not gotten anything from Hanover yet, so I figure I better reach out to them and say, okay, what's the status? What are you working on the building? When do you need the money? Because we have to put together a voucher request.
But this is for the building or for the
Yes.
service?
No.
I mean, we are switched over.
We are switched over. That was just a signature. Because as far as the dispatch, that is entirely up to us. That wasn't a local issue. So now, and I'd like to get them to give us an invoice for the amount and figure out to pay it all on purpose, 2 payments or whatever. But I just haven't heard anything from them, so I'm gonna contact them later this week and get some updates and so that we can make sure that we're staying on top of stuff. Because one of the things that did slip through the cracks was New Hampshire Municipal. For whatever reason, I didn't see the invoice, and it just hasn't been paid. It was supposed to be paid earlier. And we utilize their services very much to keep our costs and legal inquiries down, and they're very responsive, so we don't all lose that capability. Plus, I've been updating their site with our municipal officers and stuff, which is one place that a lot of different agencies and stuff go to find out who to contact in a town. So having them utilized for that service, as well as we can query their database for pay ranges of different jobs. We can post actual classifieds and stuff as we have stuff. We have not utilized their site as fully as we might be able to. I've started getting into it more, but that on top of the training and everything else, it takes a while before you figure out all the things that are available. And that's the thing I'm working on. I will email you, or read my report to the chair. I think the appointment thing, the only thing we've got is the one thing we've signed, which was for the planning board. And now with that signed, Christie can verify a signature when he stops in to sign it. That brings up old business, and I don't know what we've got on the books anymore at this point, because we've pretty well taken care of most of the items. Anything from either of you for new business?
Yes. What about, like, okay, I know you said you did forget our pay and stuff, and the reimbursement and stuff. What about time when you spend all day and lose the whole day's worth of work?
That's worth a discussion.
Because that cost me.
Oh, yeah, because you're taking time off from work, which is probably not paid. And in my case, I'm retired, so for me, the most I might do is put in for the mileage reimbursement, and that's not a big deal anyways. But for some of these things, where you go to some of these functions and spend time there, it seems to me that would be a responsible thing for the board to do, because you can't expect people to go and learn about things that are volunteers and suffer any economic downfall from it. Question is, how do we work it? Because we won't put that in our official policy. Let me check with some people, other towns and stuff, and see what they have. And then let's put that as an old business item for next meeting, which is 3 weeks away. And I'll see what I can find out. Yeah, because we're not talking a tremendous amount of money as far as the town goes, but as an individual, it can be a substantial hit, especially with the amount of inflation these days, with everything from gas and food and everything else. So it's definitely an issue to address. Anything from you other than that? Anything from the floor?
I heard there's a thing about the rock wall and dirt pile on Forehand Road.
Okay, first of all, for arguments, what's your name?
Corey Swenson. Corey Swenson.
Okay.
And I'm the one that put the road and all that. And I went up there, they had a disturbed wall, there's no dirt pile or nothing. The only thing I did see was a 3-hole spoke through the wall where someone did log in it and they poked holes
wouldn't think so.
Yeah, it's 3 different spots.
Do we want to meet with him and look up there and see what this is all about? Because I don't have a good idea.
Yeah, that's fine, you know, no problem.
Anytime after about, and you can make about 3 or 3 every day.
A weekend, whenever I can get around the town, and be,
It can work,
I'm not, from looking at the weather report before I get up, tomorrow's not a good day, but, what about Friday?
pick a time, get it done.
Where's that? No, there. Aaron, what's your telephone number, please?
603-843-5113.
5113. Okay. Because if Friday looks good, I think that'd be a good opportunity for us to get together and take a look at it.
Yeah.
And I think it's just gonna be a question of, we need to figure out a little bit more of what was done, a guesstimate of when it was done, and try to figure out what can be done to remedy. And I don't have any answers to those questions.
Well, the complaint should know everything, shouldn't they?
You know, this is the first step, to figure out what's going on and try
It's
to.
been a lot of years since I've done it too, you know, it's been, I've been over 7 years.
Yeah, Carl's still up there.
Yeah, I remember going over it, you know, it's 7 years, long time.
We may have to do some research, but we'll see what we can come up with. And try to accomplish a remedial action plan. I think that's what we can offer at this point, and
Yeah.
let's just take a look, we'll see where we can go from there.
And if I get caught in the problem, or any issues, I'll be glad to take care of it, but I won't like to see.
Well, if there's nothing else, oh,
There's public here.
I would just like to find out any additional information on the used car lot on Winter Road, where we are with that.
do you have any update on that?
No, I mean, United driveway permit, and that's pretty much where that is. I mean, you know, we don't have limitations in the zoning to actually stop him. That's been addressed by us. I mean, as long as he's good with the disposals and stuff, there really isn't a lot we can do about it.
So his permit will be coming up again for renewal with the state, and he doesn't have a completely contained building of 750 feet or more, and he's not got his vehicles on a cement, so all of that oil or gas that might be leaking out of some of those cars are going into the ground.
Well, that'll be addressed when the permit comes up, you know, by the state. I mean, those are state regulations.
Well, they asked you guys to sign off on it, so I'm wondering what your thoughts are on that, because it's going into the ground, and that, those are contaminants, so.
If he's not meeting the requirements of the state regulations, I'm not gonna sign right.
You know, as long as the state's not being that, you know.
If you can't really get it on Friday, you just call me.
After three, yeah, I think that'll be good.
So what, if we meet here, 3:30, 4 o'clock?
Yeah, I'll give you a call once I, see what the weather is and everything, we'll go from there.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, we'll see you later.
So I just want you to be aware, I didn't know about those regulations till I looked them up. So I just thought I'd bring them to your attention. He still does have the 2 driveways, they're still there. And if
Well,
we
that's
can-
kind of our fault. We didn't want to have them put it back through the way.
No, I agree. No, he's,
Yeah, no, it's
the
coming
road
out.
was a mess.
It's coming out, yeah, no, that's
going with this, and I would just appreciate some feedback.
Well, that bottom line where it says only dirt is acceptable for heavy equipment and farm equipment, that kind of, you know, unless he has a plan to put in a pad for the parking of vehicles, I can't see how we would be in a position to approve it. That doesn't give much gray area.
No.
So,
He's very nice, and he came and met with all of us, and introduced himself and said he was going to just buy and sell some cars. So we all thought, ooh, there was gonna be some really neat cars in the garage, but I didn't realize there were gonna be 15 to 25 of these cars hanging around all the time. It looks very junky.
Yeah, the Packard doesn't count, it's cool.
One or two of those cars, 3 or 4 of those cars wouldn't be an issue. Again, it's the amount of
Oh, yeah,
volume.
no, I was just saying about the Packard.
Yeah, the Packard is cool, it is cool, I agree, but some of the ones that are up there are not cool.
Yeah.
Okay, that is all, I just appreciate your thoughts on it.
so at this point, this would be up to the planning board next, because they're working on the driveway permit.
Well, they already answered it, we have to look at it, we're done with that, so this is bad news. Well, when the permit comes up, he needs authorization from us, you know. But, and send him a copy of this, so he's aware of it, instead of waiting until last minute throwing it on him, you know.
You want to take care of that?
Sure.
Okay. And if there's nothing else to come before the board this evening, I entertain a motion for adjournment.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you very much, guys. Yep. Listen, get those back. Here's another. Oh, pardon me. Sign this other. This one.
Thanks, guys. Did you get my email about the master plan?
So,
Very fast.
I got it.
Real quick.